Jessica Love, I'm Executive Director of Daring Girls. Thank you so much for being here to watch this webinar. I've got some special guests from Glammy here, and we'll be walking through the agenda, making some introductions, and then answering some of the questions that were submitted in advance to the webinar. And this will be available on our website after the event. So with that, we will start right away here with our agenda. My name again is Jessica Love. I run Daring Girls from the US. I will be joining the trip. So if you don't like my sense of humor on this webinar, it probably, hopefully you'll grow to like it during the course of our time together. I've been with Daring Girls since 2020, have had just the incredible fortune of working with Glammy and getting to know them over the years. And I'm so excited to be able to introduce our community to Glammy and the incredible work that they're doing and their amazing team that I see every time I have the great luck to go, and that I'm so excited for everybody else to see. So, in a moment, I'll let my colleague Anante Nunko introduce herself. She's executive director of Glammy. But just a quick look at what we'll be talking about today. After we get through these introductions here, we'll be talking a little bit at a high level about the Daring Girls and Glammy partnership, and to just give a quick sense of the two mentoring programs that Glammy is implementing in Tanzania, so you know what you'll be seeing and experiencing during classroom visits. We will also walk through the agenda that's planned for the trip right now, so you'll get a good sense of what we'll see and do on the trip. And then we'll talk a little bit about trip logistics and deadlines for those who are still considering. And we hope that you will join us. So hopefully that will answer all your questions about that. And if it doesn't, we've got time for questions at the end. So feel free to submit those throughout the course of this via chat, or we can go to the screen at the end and answer questions. So with that, Anande, I would love for you to introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, mambo, habari za jioni. That is a Swahili word of saying hi and good evening. I'm Anande Nko, and I have a bit of history with Glammy. I've joined Glammy back when it was called Africa Tanzania back in 2010. And then in between, I came back as executive director with Glammy on July 2023. And I'm really excited what Glammy offers on ground. And this really touched my passion. So I can't wait to meet all of you and share the experience together. We look forward for that.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anande. Oops, look at that. I've gone all the way to the end of my, second here. All right, hang on 1 second. The technology always works in the test run and then never when you're live. So let me try this again. Okay, so, all right. Well, Anande, thank you for introducing yourself. I would love you also, while you're at it, to go ahead and introduce the mentoring programs that Glammy leads. Daring Girls has been so proud to support these, and PISA Project launched in 2010. Binti Shupavu has been running since 2017. And Anande, if you can walk us through what each program does, so we know what we'll be seeing when we visit these classes, that would be great.
Wow, thank you. I think this is the best part of speaking about the programs. I will start with Binti Shupavu because this is the lower secondary school. We work with girls between age 12 to 18, and the main reason.
1 second. Ananda, I'm getting a bit of a feedback. Is anyone else on the call hearing? No? Okay, it must be just me. I'm so sorry. So continue.
So I'm saying this is the best part of speaking about the program. And this basically, I would love to start speaking about it on Binti Shupavu. So Binti Shupavu is a program well designed for lower secondary school girls to make sure that they remain in school, but while they're in school, they perform well, they build their confidence, they become resilient and better future leaders. So how do we do it? How do we maintain girls at the age of 12 to 18 in schools? So we find them in schools. So we have partner schools that we're working with them. And with that, we have our mentors going once a week for a duration of 1.5 hours, where they talk about life skills, leadership skills, And I really am interested on this Binti Shupavu because one, it's teach them about how to be resilient while at the very younger age, but also health sessions, which is very, very important because, hey, girls are becoming teenagers, they experience menstruations, they experience health changes, body changes, puberties, and having someone to guide them throughout the way and walk with them. So we have mentors who are well educated, I'll say, and because they have at least a bachelor degree, and most of them are our alumni. So they get to be trained, our scholars get to be trained by the mentors who have gone through the same program. And with that, they also be taught how to be confident, how to understand themselves, how to set goals, how to even to start identifying their careers. So BT Shupavu by itself is from Form 1 to Form 4. It's a 4 years program, which mainly designed to keep a girl, to support a girl or empower a girl to stay in school and reduce the dropout rate. As you know, the dropout rate is very high, especially when they're transitioning from Form 2 to Form 3, when they're doing the national exams. That is a bit challenging for most of our scholars. And, you know, knowing that 39% of girls transit to secondary school and then only three are going to at university, then GLAMI is also looking at KISA projects to be part of it that designed to support advanced secondary girls in order to identify themselves, to understand the contribution that they can bring back to the community, but also figuring themselves out in terms of what career do they want. And you come to hear later on about the career day, you come to hear about the health sessions, you come to hear all about what KISA is also supporting a girl to be able to transit to university and be able to contribute to their community. So basically, our mentorship programs are having mentors on board, but again, on the background, we also have social workers, which is the most exciting part of things because we also consider supporting our scholars apart from the lessons and skills that we're providing in class. We also consider what challenges are they experiencing that might hinder them from continuing from school. It might be they need an extra support on hostels, or maybe they need a sanitary pad because during the menstrues they can't go to schools. Maybe they need a bit of a piece of a bar soap so that they can clean themselves and be confident to attend the class. Or sometimes the parents cannot even contribute their books. So scholastical materials are areas that we also cover. And all of these are the great work that social workers are doing. Um, Again, they also do home visits and engage with parents to understand what challenges and what scholars are going through, but contribution to which girls or the parents can bring to support girls' education. So we have an amazing programs. Both of them are designing to support girls in Tanzania, especially secondary schools. Majority of our schools are in government schools and are in rural areas. So maybe I'll pause there, Jessica, to throw the ball back to you and roll on. I believe they will hear a lot of things from us.
Thank you for the overview, Anande. And this really is just a slide to kind of underscore everything Anande just said about the holistic programs and all of the activity that's going on is happening in a lot of places in Tanzania. GLAMI is active in 50 different schools across 3 regions of Tanzania. This trip will touch on 2 of those regions, the Arusha region and the Kilimanjaro region. They have quite a few scholars. This is as of December of last year. I bet it's probably over 10,000 1,000 that are enrolled now already this year. Um, and I think one of the really cool things about these mentoring programs is that they've been running for so long that alumni are coming back as staff. And so the girls in the programs get that extra layer of knowing that they're looking at someone who sat in their seat not that long ago. And the mentorship role is really for a lot of the young women who come back to fill these roles, their first job out of university. So it helps give them career experience and a line on their resume. Glammy also exposes these young women to different career education opportunities to help prepare them for their next role once they move on from Glammy. But because 61% of staff are alumni, that shared lived experience is a really important element of the program. And you'll meet a lot of the mentors who've gone through the program who are mentors today, which I think is a really cool thing to be able to do. Ananda, anything that you want to add here before I move on to our agenda?
Not really. We can move by.
All right. Great. Well, so we'll dive right in, and this is the trip. I will say our itinerary that's on our website, we plan to follow, but I will, with the caveat that as we get closer to fall, school schedules sometimes maybe shift a little bit. So our priority for this trip is making sure that everyone who joins us gets a unique experience that you can't just go do on your own. We want to get you into schools as much as possible. That's our priority, is getting you into classrooms with scholars, getting you interacting with mentors, also with alumni of the program, so you can you meet the girls who are in it currently, and then fast forward, I guess, to their futures as you get to meet some of the alumni of the program. So that is really our priority for the trip. Some of the other activities and local excursions may shift a little bit depending on timing of the classes and also in the makeup of our trip. We don't want to put something out there and then have the people who are actually coming on the trip say, actually, I did a coffee tour last time I was in Africa. I'm much more interested in maybe seeing a local waterfall or a village tour or something like that. So this may change slightly, but this is sort of our vision for what the week will look like. So with that caveat, everyone will arrive and you'll be able to check in to our group hotel on Monday. You'll have the day to yourself. You can enjoy the hotel or relax by the pool and recover from the jet lag if you want. Or we can help you also think about local activities or excursions that you might want to add on to your trip depending when you're arriving. But this day really is yours to settle in and check into our group hotel. And then we'll have a dinner available for those who want to join. We will pay for the dinner as part of your trip package, but if you want to just sort of head to bed early or do dinner on your own, that's fine too. So this is really just an optional day to get checked in. We will be staying at the Sheraton Arusha Hotel, which is a beautiful property, very lush, nice rooms. I think after the long journey, hopefully it will be a comfortable easing into the amazing week ahead of you. There is a pool, so pack that swimsuit if you want to relax a little bit, but this is where we will be staying for the first few days of our trip. And then on Tuesday morning, we will wake up, we'll have breakfast together. I will share just kind of a look ahead at what we'll be doing during the week. We will have some Glammy representatives probably at the breakfast too, to walk through the schedule. After the breakfast, we'll do probably a cultural activity local in Arusha. You can see the first picture there is the Arusha Cultural Center, which is a really fascinating place to visit. They have, I think, Ananda, correct me if I'm wrong, or Deborah or Teresia, who are on the call now with Glammy too. I think it has the largest collection of African art in all of the continent. Am I right about that? Does anyone know? We can fact check me, but it is a huge collection and it's amazing. Anande, do you know?
What I know is the large collection from Africa.
The largest collection from Africa of African artists, I
Yes,
think.
yes.
Yeah. So it's art. They've got a huge souvenir shop where you can shop around and look at different items. There's a lot of education around. They have some bomas, I think, in the place. So this would be one that I might recommend for Monday if you have time, because you can spend, I think, several hours there if you wish. It's really very interesting. Or we may add it on and do a kind of a shorter visit. So I would definitely recommend going there. And then after that, we'll do some introductions. We'll have lunch with the Glammy team. You'll get to meet the mentors. We'll get to know each other a little bit. And then after that, one thing we did last year was sort of our first intensive donor trip to Kenya. And we took a group. And one of the fun things we did was to patronize a local seamstress where everyone who wanted to had a skirt or a shirt or a handbag or a dress made. And I mean, talk about a unique souvenir that you can't really get anywhere else. So that was a lot of fun. And we were thinking that that might be something we could repeat in Tanzania because we've had a lot of alumni who've gone on to open their own tailoring businesses. And so hopefully we'll have time to go to the business and maybe be fitted there. But if we don't, I think we could probably work something out where they measure us, at our hotel or somewhere. But for those who are interested in that, that would be something we can have done on Monday. The incredible thing to me is that they're so fast. These clothing items can be produced in just a few days. So we'll have you measured on Tuesday, and then we'll have the items delivered on Saturday before the end of the trip to Moshi, so you can be able to take it home with you when you go. So that is that. And then we will also on Wednesday do another cultural activity. There's a great Maasai market where you can do some shopping. I always get a bit intimidated with the haggling and negotiating for prices. So we will arrange for some alumni or maybe some Glammy mentors to come with us who can, help us navigate that the excitement of negotiating for the item that you want without walking away paying maybe too much for it. But they can help us also walk around and maybe introduce us to friends they have in the market or to places that they like to visit when they go. So we'll have, we found in Kenya when we did this that it really works well if you have one sort of mentor with a family. So we'll probably break up into very small groups and do a tour that way. So everyone gets a up close experience without feeling kind of herded through as a big group. And then we'll, in the afternoon, go to a classroom visit. So our classroom visits will be a mix of Kisa Project classrooms and Binti Shupavu classrooms. So you'll get to experience girls in the programs at different ages, in different years of the programs. And we'll make these really as interactive as possible. You can see on the screen now a mentor leading her girls in the chicken dance. So this is just to say you never know what you might be walking into. The mentors do such an amazing job of starting different lesson topics that are very interactive to just get the girls moving and a little bit outside their shell. And this would be one example of that. Um, we really want this to be interactive. And so it's not just our group watching the scholars. We want you to participate. So if there's an icebreaker activity, you'll be doing the chicken dance right up there with those girls. Or maybe participating in smaller breakout groups where girls are working through an activity together. We will immerse you with the girls, with the groups, as much as we possibly can, because we really want them to meet you and learn from you as much as we will all learn from the girls that we'll be meeting. And then we also want to make sure that we've got lots of time with the mentors so you can get to know the mentors who make the program possible. So we'll have lunches with them. Hopefully some, if not all, will be able to join us for different dinners. So also alumni will engage and hopefully have lunches and meals with as well during the trip. So you can, again, really have that immersive experience where you're talking with people who've been touched all parts of this program. And then on Thursday, we will also head to Moshi. Moshi is where Glammy has an office in the Kilimanjaro region. We are likely staying at the Kinga Homes Boutique Hotel. We're just finalizing with them and want to make a little visit there this weekend. We do have a family of four joining the trip, so we want to make sure it's sometimes I'm finding a little bit hard to find family rooms, but this place has that available. It looks like a beautiful property. And I think this is likely where we'll be staying, but it is not quite confirmed yet. But if not here, then another beautiful property like this, where you'll have a little more outside the city, relaxing feel with a lot of green, lush greenery. And then on Friday, we'll do a local activity in Moshi, which could involve a small hike to a waterfall if you're interested in getting out and getting a little active during the trip. Maybe we'll visit a coffee farm. There's also a lot of sugar plantations and processing facility in the area, but what we will design together as the group and probably give our final traveling group a couple of options to either go together as a group, or maybe we split up in the morning and then meet up for lunch and then to continue on to a classroom. So we will get you back in the classroom on Friday afternoon, but we'll also give you a taste of life in Moshi in the Kilimanjaro region before we get you back to the classroom. And then on Saturday, what you're looking at here is the beginning of a career day event. These are always really festive, fun events. I think this year will be my third career day that I've had the luck to go to, and I these are sometimes long and full days, but they're amazing and will leave you just so full of joy and excitement for these girls, because the girls that are going through this career day program are girls who are in the KISA project, which is for the older girls who are about to graduate and go off to university. They've worked all year long to research careers that they're interested in, and they do this in groups. And this is really the culmination of their research, and it brings in some other folks too. So, Ananda, I'd love to go back to you and to have you maybe give us some highlights of what happens during this day and why is this day so important for the scholars.
Thank you so much, Jessica. This is one of the biggest events that we're doing, and it's very dear to our scholars and us because one, our scholars have learned about the careers that they wish that they can pursue in the university and becoming. So with that, they start experiencing it by researching it, live through it in terms of imagining it, but also do the proper research, understanding how it works. And later on the career day itself, it's an event where they get to exhibit what they've researched on, what they've seen, what they've visualized throughout, to be able to become that person or that the career that they want. So with that, they'll get an opportunity to interact with judges, other professional expertise in two different ways. One, by exhibiting their auditions, what they're doing, but also be able to sit on one-on-one directly with a specific expertise on a specific career. For example, I, as a lawyer or practicing advocate, I get to sit with the girls who are interested to become lawyers. And the same applies to GLAMI will look for volunteers who are expertise in, for example, doctors, teachers, engineers, scientists, to become and speak with the girls on a direct way. Why are we doing the small groups where the girls can get to speak with the one-on-one? It's because then they get to ask questions of clearing the doubts of their research, but also get to understand and being inspired and motivated by these individuals who are coming to speak with them. And we have realizing that because of the lack of the role models in Tanzania, especially female role models in specific careers, so having these small group leaders, we term them as small group leaders, to be able to talk one-on-one with our scholars, then it starts paving the way for the scholars to decide exactly what they want and how can they invest more of their efforts there to support reaching their dreams. But again, what is more excited is also that there is a combination of zones in these schools. So one zone can come and then the three schools can come together and form the zone whereby the scholars get to engage with other scholars who are in the same program of KISA and be able to create the network, the friendship, the connection. Whereas when they complete, they find themselves in universities and continue with that network of KISA alumni network. So this, for us, it's a very, very important session. It's a very important event, and also get to celebrate with the scholars, knowing that they've identified those careers, they've learned to exhibit it. It shows that they've increased their confidence, their public speaking. They get to network and create interactions. So all of these, it's a day where our scholars get to exercise a lot of skills that they've learned also in TSAT programs. So with that, I believe that for people visiting, they get to see a first-hand experience with what the girls have invested and the mentors have invested to create Career Day, and then the big day is happening and get to celebrate with our scholars. Thank you.
Thank you for that. And as Anande mentioned, this is a big group of a few different schools within a zone, which is why there are so many girls in this room right now. So it's a nice chance to, we can't make it to every school, but in this instance, we'll have a few schools make it to us so we can meet them all in one spot. So that day is always just a lot of fun and a huge celebration. And we'll, I think, carry the celebration forward. That's our final evening of the trip and a Saturday night. So hopefully we'll get as many mentors as possible to join us for a final trip dinner and celebration and just final chance to be together before folks go off onto their own adventures. So really to kind of underscore everything you just saw, the goal of this trip is to immerse everyone who participates as much as possible with scholars, with mentors, with alumni of the programs to really understand how the programs are run and the lifelong impact that these programs help create for the girls who participate. We want to bring you close to the work, and this is about as close as you could get, I think. One other thing I haven't mentioned, but I think is really cool is that there is a former Glammy mentor who has gone off and launched her own travel business. It's called Girls Adventures Tanzania. Her name is Aika, and you'll see a video at some point from us on social media from her. But we're working with her travel company to provide our transportation for the week. So you'll get to meet her. And so I love that we're able to support a mentor in her business throughout the week, too. So just another touch that we're adding to the trip to hopefully bring you closer to the impact. Um, so after the trip ends, those who are interested, we do have a travel partner based in the US. We have been working with them. They're the founder of their company used to be the Daring Girls board president several years ago. So we have a very long and close relationship. They very kindly give a 10% donation of proceeds from safaris back to this work. So this is yet another way to reinvest in Daring Girls and Glammy and the work that you're going to see. And if you're interested, they produce just extremely lovely, customized, tailored trips. And they've put a few sample itineraries together on our website that you can take a look at. If you go to our website, I'll show you the page at the end. It's actually, if you go to just daringgirls.org, there's a little strip at the very top that'll take you straight to our trip page. But Africa Adventure Consultants has put together, hopefully you can you see this web screen? Okay. They've put together some itineraries that you can take a look at just to get some ideas. If this is of interest to you, they'll be happy to have a conversation with you. They can show you some of the things that they might recommend. But if you're interested in photography or other maybe hiking or other kinds of adventures, or maybe you just want a really, really relaxing 4-star trip to enjoy the amazing people and scenery and to just take in some wildlife, they can customize it to your interests and your needs, which is really great. So they can do a 3-day if you're interested in that. There's also a 5-day trip. Again, on our website, if you go look for that text, you can click through, and they've got sample itineraries that are put together for you that have images. I think there's even some videos. This one's taking a minute to load, but similar to this one, you'll find different kinds of adventures and photos that will help give you a sense of what you might consider adding to your trip if you decide to add on a safari. Um, in terms of visiting Arusha and Moshi, Ananda, I'd love to turn back to you to go through a couple of these questions. And then Deborah and Teresia, if you guys have anything to add, I'd love for you to unmute yourselves and jump in too. But maybe just first starting, Ananda, like what makes this part of Tanzania so special and so unique?
I'll say the people. That's the very first thing. When you come to Arusha and Kilimanjaro, the people are very welcoming. They're very warm, and not to be brag, but Tanzania are considered to be the kindest place, and also the peaceful environment that Arusha and Kilimanjaro comes with it. So Arusha is a bit chilly, and sometimes it's a bit warm, but it's a weather where you can enjoy. both ways. But again, Kilimanjaro, we come with the mountain Kilimanjaro, the very famous one. And this comes with a lot of beautiful sceneries where you get to see Mount Kilimanjaro by far. But again, when you look at the distance between the two regions and what it offers in between, it's the culture that comes with it, the mixed tribes together that brings the warmth of the people. So for me, when what is unique about Arusha and Kilimanjaro, I'll say the people. But again, I love the food. So I normally enjoy eating. We're very, very, very famous on the barbecues and having meat. So if you are those people interested with that, no problem. This is the space where you can really enjoy it. But again, our greens, our vegetables, you get very fresh veggies. So if you're vegetarian, just know that you get free free of pests, organic vegetables that we are sure that it's a place worthy to invest or visit. But again, Arusha with the national parks, oh please, you need to visit. They're beautiful. There are many in the same place in the same region that it's impressive to visit and see. So we look forward if you happen to visit Arusha, please visit Tarangire because it's very famous known for elephants, big heads of elephants and lions that climb trees. Those are the very fun part about Tarangire. So look forward to that. Maybe I'll pass it to Deborah and Teresia and they can speak about it.
Deborah and Tercia, anything that you want to add? I'll underscore the food is quite delicious. We'll make sure that we do the barbecue Nyama Choma. I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but that's really fun and a great kind of interactive meal. So we'll make sure that we get that in. I've had the greens. I think I could eat forever every single day. The greens and the beans, and so lots. Prepare your stomachs. Bring some elastic pants. We'll have some delicious meals that we'll share together. I guess Teresia is the alumni coordinator, and so we'll be working closely with her as we think through the alumni and their businesses and how we can support different alumni in different parts of this journey, eating at restaurants and whatnot. Teresia, can you talk maybe a little bit about the alumni and some of the most maybe how they're making how most of the alumni in the regions are making a living, those that have become entrepreneurs, what are the kinds of things that they do in the communities that we might be able to experience? We talked about tailoring, but what else do some of the alumni who are business owners in the area, how are they making a living?
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, everyone, for welcoming me. I hope everyone can see me.
We can, yes.
Okay, so hi, everyone. My name is Teresia Steve, and I work with GLAMI as a program alumni coordinator. We have different alumni who have different businesses and activities. And one of them, Jessica mentioned, she's a tailor. She was supported from one of our programs which supports alumni by providing startup funds. And she's an alumni who is very successful in that tailoring business. She was able to coach some two other girls from her community, and luckily, they graduated. It's a local training, but they were able to graduate and they are now owning their own businesses. So apart from that, you have some few alumni who have different businesses. Some of them maybe have juice businesses. Some of them have animal feed shops businesses. Some of them have hairdressing salons. And between all these alumni, some of them have been receiving supports from us for them to start their businesses, as in startup funds. And to us, those are 8. And some of them have started their businesses out of their own willingness to escape poverty, to get some extra cash to use while in universities. So yeah, we have quite a number which do like different things. Yeah.
Thank you, Teresia. That's great. I appreciate that. The and if there's any questions, yeah, feel free to drop them in the chat. Deborah, I would love to come to you to talk a little bit about, some of the fun things that we'll do. And I'm gonna actually advance to the next slide because I have just a little video with no sound strung together, but just to give some more imagery of some of the schools that you might see. But Deborah, if you could talk about some of the activities, and then maybe also if you can tell us what to expect when we're visiting the classrooms and how we should dress would be helpful.
Okay, hope you can all see me and hear me. So what I can say is that we keep saying there's joy in mentoring, but there's also joy in visiting us. And when you visit us, you'll be hyped from the moment you come into Tanzania. Our team will be ready to receive you. We have a lot of things and activities that we'll prepare to make sure that you feel loved because we love visitors. So make sure that you feel loved, you feel appreciated, but at the same time, you enjoy your visit in Tanzania and you enjoy your visit at Glami. So we are hoping to see lots of people come and visit us. As Jessica has just said, and the most fun part about it is that you've got to go into classes and engage with the scholars. And if I can just think of the previous days we had visitors at Glami, and I could tell it, the scholars were very happy to have these visitors, and the visitors too were very happy. So if you can go visit our social media pages, you'll also be able to see how your visit would be, because you'll see the joy from the pictures we've taken, the joy from the videos we've taken, and trust me, all the journey towards Tanzania and all the journey towards our schools are the awesomest journey. Everything you've never seen before, you'll be able to see them in Tanzania. So I would love to say we would welcome you so much, and we'll appreciate to see you with us. And our scholars are going to be very, very happy to have you with us. Not only our scholars, the school administrations will also be very happy to have you. And when it comes into dressing now, I think Jessica will talk, Ananda will talk more about that, but what I can say is that our dress code as in Tanzanian culture, we sort of depend on the Maasai culture. So you'd find a lot of people on the way dressed in Maasai culture, but some of us would maintain a holistic dress code. But when we visit to schools, we prefer wearing loose trousers. We prefer wearing long dresses because of the culture that we're trying to preserve. So feel free, welcome so much in Tanzania, welcome at Glami. We cannot wait to have you. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach on Jessica or Anande. And I am Deborah.
Thank you so much. Deborah tells me all the time, we love visitors. And I say, be careful what you say because you're going to have them come through all the time. So, as she mentioned, there is a group that just went through, a group of travelers that they just hosted yesterday. And I was just looking at the photos this morning too. And I definitely recommend Glammy on Instagram is glammy.tanzania. So, if you're not following them yet, go check them out. You'll get a little taste of what one group got to experience while they were there. And I think as Deborah just said, you really see kind of the joy on the girls' faces and on the visitors' faces. It's a fun experience for everyone. We did have a question about just being culturally respectful is, how should people prepare? I mean, Anande, Deborah, Teresia, are there any pet peeves that you have when you see American tourists coming through that we should make sure that we avoid? Or are there any favorite movies that you have about Tanzania that we should all watch to, prepare and make sure that we're taking the right notes and we're, not doing some actions that might be considered rude or disrespectful? What advice can you share by way of videos or books or just your own personal notice, things that you've noticed with tourists?
So maybe to jump in, first, whoever visits Tanzania, they should know that Tanzania is one of the easiest and warm country in terms of welcoming. We speak Swahili, so majority of a majority of us speak Swahili and little bit of English. So the English that we have can be translated well to some of the Swahili part. So one thing that might be maybe to support is just to be open-minded and be willing to engage with people. So Tanzania people can greet you on the way, even if you don't know them. And this is normally our culture. You can sit with them in the public transport and they will speak to you automatically. It's not because they want something from you, no, but it's part of us that to conversate with people around. So you might find yourself in the hotel and you are enjoying your cup of tea and someone say hello, where are you from? It's because of the nature of who we are, being welcoming and being able to entertain. In terms of dressing codes, in Tanzania, especially in Arusha, in the public spaces, there's no limitation of how and where to dress, but we encourage people to wear decent. And also to schools, we encourage visitors, especially our visitors, when you're coming in, we'll give you what we call child protection policy for you to review it so that you understand what limits does GLAMI have when it comes to engaging with the scholars. So we will take time to let you know and speak with you before joining the sessions. But again, in schools, we normally go do a courtesy visit to heads of schools so that they are aware of your presence in schools, which really, it's not, it's just a courtesy visit where they need to understand who we are and who are we bringing in our programs so that they understand we have a good intention of our visits. But again, in terms of going around and enjoying scenery, it is a peaceful space. So walking around 5 to 6, it's okay. And where you're staying,
Vastanande. Well, she'll be back in a minute, but I think that question's also a good segue to just what the trip, I'll come back to this one, but what the trip include or trip requirements rather. We are going to hold 2 pre-trip conversations on Zoom. It will just be myself and then our guests going on the trip. We'll go through a little more of these things in detail. Everyone will have a chance to meet at least by Zoom before we go on the trip. But these orientations are a good chance too to think about, okay, like the first one will be probably May or June, and then the last one will be in September before we go on the trip, just for any last minute packing questions, things like that. We will also, I'm sorry, I didn't update this slide. If you are going somewhere before Tanzania, a yellow fever vaccine might be required by the Tanzanian government if you're coming from a country like Kenya or another place nearby that has incidents of yellow fever. So just let me know your travel plans and I can help you find that information on the right websites so you're fully prepared when you enter the country in case anything comes up. And then I think also I will, we do as part of our preparation for the trip, we will have a sort of a frequently asked questions document that will give you a bit of guidance on tipping and other cultural things that might be a little bit different between the US and Tanzania. So you feel as prepared as possible. But I think to underscore so much of what Anande was saying is it's very, accepting culture. And I think people are just excited to get to know you and happy to meet you. So I think there's probably not a lot of things you can do that would be, wrong or bad. I think it's more just being inquisitive about the culture and open to learning is the best thing you can possibly do. So to go back a little bit, we do have some registration deadlines. We are I do need to confirm our hotel rooms by the end of June. So we will be looking to probably close the trip by then. So if you're considering, we do have 10 spaces left on the trip. We can hold up to 16. The costs are on the screen. And I am happy to answer any questions about that. The cost does include a $1,500 tax deductible donation. So that helps us to to support Glammy and all the preparations that Daring Girls and Glammy are putting into the trip, you get the tax deduction for that amount on the trip. And you also know that the funds that you're giving will go directly to Glammy and those programs, which is, I hope, a nice touch for those of you coming. We do require a non-refundable deposit per person to reserve your spot. This is tax deductible. And then we'll look for half of the remaining fees by May 15th, and then the remainder of the fees by August 15th. And then you'll be set. During that week, there should be very little that you have to worry about paying for with us. But we'll provide some guidance on cash to carry for souvenirs and things like that as we get closer to the trip. In terms of what the trip includes, this is on our website as well, and we'll follow up with this, but it includes your local transportation upon the official start of the trip. It includes driver gratuity. We'll be in larger vehicles that hold probably 8 to 12 people. They're comfortable, kind of bucket style seats, kind of safari vehicles, really almost. So they'll be very stable and comfortable. We've got lodging set for everyone for 6 nights. All the meals during the trip are included, as well as your local excursions and activities. And, really, to underscore again and again, we want this to be memorable and just the kind of experience you can't create on your own. So really, if going to schools, interacting with the girls and the mentors is something close to your heart, this is the right trip for you, because you will have all of that and more. What it does not include is your international flight, your Tanzanian entry visa. We will give you all the right links to secure that in advance, and we can help you through that process, which thankfully is very easy process. We do require travel or proof of insurance for health insurance. So whether that comes from your own health provider, or if you book an outside provider, we can provide recommendations that I've used in the past, if that is helpful to you. We just want to make sure everyone's covered, because worst case scenario, we like to plan for that, even though it's very unlikely. But any trip can result in something unexpected. So it's better to be prepared. Any vaccinations that you might need, or medication or doctor appointments, we can provide links to the Center for Disease Control pages, so you can see what is advised. I would definitely advise you to talk with your regular physician about what kinds of medication you might need. I know my personal doctor prescribes if I need an anti-malarial medicine. So you shouldn't need to go to specialists and things, but we can help you find the right person for that if your main doctor does not provide that. We'll provide wine and beer at dinners, but if you want to have happy hour before dinner, that would be not included with the trip. And then any personal expenses, phone calls, shopping, the tailored clothing item, those we would consider add-ons to the trip. So again, we'll advise on recommended amounts of cash to bring or to exchange once you get to the airport in Tanzania. And it also does not include local transportation to your next destination. But for those of you who are working with Africa Adventure Consultants on a safari, I know that they have you very well covered in that case to get you to the next part of your trip. So we went through this slide. I would say just the last thing is making sure that you are able to walk steadily on uneven terrain. And I think we'll talk a little more about the right footwear to bring, but I think comfort in footwear is always paramount, making sure that you can walk comfortably. There won't be miles and miles unless we end up offering, a hike as part of the activities or excursions, but it is good to wear comfortable shoes that you can walk over uneven terrain with. And so with that, I guess if there's any other questions, I'll click over quickly to the, let's see if I can stop share, to our website here to just highlight that for folks who have any other, let me just reshare. But are there any questions that we've not answered yet? I think we've covered most of the questions that were included in the RSVP page, but if there's anything else that you want to cover, this is a great time to unmute yourself and ask, or pop something in the chat. And while we're paused here, Anande, maybe if you're back on Deborah's screen, if there's anything you wanted to finish up, you were giving some great thoughts also about kind of cultural expectations and how we can really be good visitors. If there's anything else you want to add, I think I saw you briefly back on Deborah's screen. Welcome back.
So for all the good reasons, sometimes in Tanzania, you'll get to experience some of the challenges of internet, but you can come back and you can still connect with people, just like how I did. Not much, but I think we're looking forward to host you guys and enjoy connecting with you all. So look forward for September.
Thank you, Anande. All right. Well, and this is the page of our website that has more information. We'll keep updating this with the number of folks on the trip. We have 6 reserved so far, so that's a great small group. We can go up to 16, which probably looks a bit big of a number, but it really isn't once you think about how many schools Glammy is in. I mean, you saw in one of the earlier screens, they're in 50 different schools. So if we do make that full amount, we will still make this feel like a small and intimate trip because we can sort of parse people out where they're going to school. So, so we're excited about the number. We're excited about where we are right now. I think, keeping things feeling close and intimate is really a goal, no matter how many people we get on the trip. So we're excited to host you. And I think unless there's any other questions, we can let everyone go. And thank you so much for being here. We'll see you in September, and we will talk to you on Zoom before then about all the things you need to know as you think about packing and final preparations. But thanks for watching the webinar and for meeting a few members of the team that you'll get to know in person also. So, Caribou, Tanzania, thanks everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.